All right, so now that I have this on, what I was doing is taking my Snowflake rear and then just figuring out the positioning. You know, from the back, it seems like you want this to be kind of vertically oriented and go somewhere like this. That's probably about where I would put it. So let's just all right, so this is what I get when I just eyeball it. So that would mean, let's just go from there. You take my, I just got this new one for the right here, this guy here. So I've got to put this on, see where that would make my holes. So just okay. So if I look, this is where my two holes are, and I'm gonna go with that because that one I trust just holding it there for the positioning rather than measuring it. There was something on the Samba and it didn't, this hole didn't match the location that they were measuring. So but this should, I think, work out great. So I'll bring down the other fender tomorrow and mark this, and then I'll actually drill the holes. Okay, so I've fit my two rear fenders on just because I wanted to measure the, well, first I wanted to measure this gap here and what I have to fix, because this is like a little bit dagged before I weld the whole thing together. Maybe I can raise that up a little bit or somehow. But the other thing I wanted to do was get the holes for the snowflakes. So these snowflakes, I painted them, and basically you can see here, I got both of the clamps and the screws basically match up. You know, it's possible that they're slightly off, but you know, for the most part, they seem to be about in the same locations relative to the lights. So what I did is I held this light in the right place here, and I got this location. I can look and see relative to that corner whether this is about right, but this looked pretty good to me. Makes the top of the light about even with the bottom of the license plate light, or the top of the license plate. So that was my first step, is to do that on the right side, and then of course you want symmetry. So in order to get symmetry, what I did is I took this piece of paper and I put this corner right at the corner there, and made this follow along perfectly. And what I did is I traced exactly where the holes are on this one, okay? And then what I can do is flip this exactly like this. And then I take this and I put it in exactly the same location, flipped. And I make it follow along the contour again, follow along that contour perfectly with this corner. And then I drew two dots here and here. So now on my left hand one, if I take these two things where the two holes are And again, those, and this will be my location. But now these holes, when I look at this, they're a little further apart. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to slightly widen the I'm going to slightly widen this, just because this one can come down on the same line. I'm going to move this one down about 2 or 3 millimeters and possibly make this one err on the high side. And then when I look at this, that should make these line up with the holes, which they do now. Okay, so that's good on the left. Let's make sure that this is good on the right, as far as the holes lining up. So the other thing on this one is a little bit bent. Needs to probably come down a little bit, but then of course it hits this, so you know, I think that'll probably work out okay. So I'm gonna drill the holes, and I'm gonna see how that comes out. Okay, and then so that's good. It took a little bit of paint with it, as did this, but I guess it's imperfect. But let's take a look. So you know, it flares out just a little bit. I tried to make the snowflake part vertical. You know, that looks like about the right position, so let's see if I can do it symmetrically with the other one. All right, I have everything that I need, so let's put this on. I have the rubber seal already over the lip. So, All right, so having tightened this down, I basically just loosely fitted on the fenders to make sure that these all the bolt holes were good, and then I measured and fit the snowflakes. Now you can see that it chips off the paint here where the screw is, but you know, whatever, I can probably fix some of that with touch-up. But so this, you know, this definitely needs a little bit of attention, but you know, even if I did it the way that it is, it's not the end of the world. That's kind of behind the bumpers with the deck lid coming down and everything. This, I think, looks pretty good in terms of the snowflakes. So I'm happy with that. Okay, so my next step is to, you know, leave the snowflakes on there, but remove the fenders. And then I have to basically proceed with getting this this piece fully welded in, and then correcting that and getting the little piece here that is the receiver for the seal. So you can see that I still have, you know, my weld gaps in here. This comes down nicely, but the gap is too big, and so if I can do something here, maybe even if it's just a little piece of metal or something like that, maybe I can hammer that out a little bit, but we'll see when I get there. This fit seems pretty good. You know, this will not only bolt down a little further, but I'll be filling this just with a little bit of body filler, so this will come out just a little bit. But I think that is going to work out great.